How fast can I actually lose weight? 5 pounds a month? 10 pounds a month? 20? And if you have a lot of weight to lose, like I do, is it possible to lose 100 pounds in less than a year without doing something completely crazy? Welcome. My name is Matt. If you're new here, I'm glad you're joining me. If you're returning, welcome back. This channel is all about health, fitness, lifestyle, and my own journey towards becoming a healthier version of myself. And the question is personal. This question is personal for me, because I'm not sitting here talking about losing 5 or 10 pounds here. I'm trying to lose 100 pounds myself. And after going through a total knee replacement, getting back into the gym, and trying to completely change the direction of my health, I've had to ask myself, how fast can I actually do this? Because believe me, I want the weight gone. I don't want it gone, 3 years from now. I want results now. But I also don't want to spend months losing weight only to gain it all back. So if I started looking into, I started looking into, research, and it actually, and what it says, and that's kind of what we're all talking about today here. One of the numbers you're going to see over and over again is 1 to 2 pounds a week. The CDC says that people who lose weight at a gradual, steady speed, roughly 1 to 2 pounds per week, are more likely to keep that weight off than people who lose it more quickly. And I think it's, that's pretty important to, there's studies. We need to probably follow the studies, right? Because there are really two different questions, that's here. How fast can I lose the weight? And how fast can you lose weight and actually keep it off? Those aren't necessarily the same thing. We have all seen the extreme transformations. Someone loses 30 pounds in a couple months or 50 pounds in 4 months. And yes, especially if you're starting at a higher body weight, the scale can sometimes move relatively a lot quicker in the beginning. But faster isn't actually better. Let's put this into perspective. If you average 1 pound per week, that's 52 pounds in a year. Average 2 pounds per week, that's 104 pounds a year. If you think about it like that, when you hear 1 or 2 pounds a week, it doesn't sound very exciting. But, you might step on the scale and think, oh man, I worked that hard for 2 pounds. But, zoom out on your journey and just kind of, think about it this way. 2 pounds a week for a year is over 100 pounds. Even on an average of, a week and a half, a pound and a half a week would be 78 pounds a year, or over the year. That's a completely different person standing in the mirror after that year. And that's something I'm having just to learn, during my own journey here. Stop judging the journey, by 1 week at a time. My goal is to lose roughly 100 pounds, and I'm not pretending that's easy at all. I had a motorcycle accident. I've gone through surgeries. I've had a total knee replacement. There've been a lot of periods in my life where just even walking or moving normally was pretty difficult, you know. Now I'm trying to turn that all around here. I'm getting back into the gym. I'm working out daily. I'm trying to improve what I eat. I'm trying to become stronger, ultimately. And I'm trying to take a body that's been through a lot and see what it's really capable of doing. That's why this journey means more to me than seeing a smaller number on the scale week after week. I want to be able to walk farther. I want to have better endurance. I want to be stronger. And I want less unnecessary pressure on my knee. The more weight, the more pressure. I just want it to last long and be a good knee for the rest of my life, really. And ultimately, I want this to be more of a lifestyle, forever change that I can actually maintain and keep the weight off with these goals. Here's something else that's really important. Weight loss isn't perfectly linear. Sorry. You might start a program and see the scale drop quickly, then suddenly it slows down. That doesn't necessarily mean that you failed. Early changes on the scale aren't necessarily all body fat. Changes in food intake and what you're eating, carbohydrates, sodium, and all the just amount of food moving through your digestive system can all affect the scale and your weight. And starting body size matters too. A larger person can often create a larger calorie deficit than a smaller person, much smaller person, while still consuming a reasonable amount of food. There's one reason comparing your weekly number to someone else's can be misleading. The CDC, also points out that things like medication, medical conditions, stress, genes, hormones, environment, and age can influence weight management. So there's no magic number that applies perfectly to every person here. This is what I found the research really interesting. A systematic review and meta-analysis published in the British Journal of Nutrition compared gradual versus rapid weight loss when the total amount of weight lost was similar. The researchers found advantages to gradual weight loss when it came to fat mass, body fat percentage, and preservation of resting metabolic rate. That's important to me because my goal isn't make the scale as light as humanly possible. My goal is losing the fat. For me, one of the biggest reasons I'm doing it this way, going to the gym, losing the fat, doing the workout, building strength method versus just losing weight. I want to maintain my muscle. I got a lot of muscle, I really do. And I want to get stronger. I want to become more physically capable. Instead of just walking 1 mile, I want to be able to walk 10. I just want to be able to use this knee properly and just be able to walk more and do more and be more active. I got 4 kids and a wife, and I really need to be here for them and more active. And that's one reason strength training is becoming such an important part of my journey, just to know that I need it. I need it to, and it's, in my opinion, it's the slower, more right way to do it, where you're not just focused on the weight. The weight's going to drop off as you're building your strength back. I don't, just want to become a smaller version of myself. That's not what this is about. I want to become a healthier and stronger version of myself. Just all, well rounded, I guess you'd say. And the scale, it can really mess with your head. That's something I'm learning, water weight, all these things daily, ups, downs. It messes with you, and you're like, why am I not losing? What's going on? Yeah. But, let's say you're doing everything right. You're exercising. You're making way better food decisions than fast food every day. You're staying consistent daily, in, out, doing the thing. Monday you weigh yourself, then Tuesday, then Wednesday, and suddenly you're up 2 pounds. Your immediate, reaction might be, are you kidding me? What? But short-term scale changes, like I said, they can reflect the water, the food, sodium, just your digestive system, and, trying to regulate what's going on, what you're changing, how you're doing it. You didn't, suddenly gain 2 pounds of body fat overnight. That's not what you did. That's why I'm trying to look at the trends, not just one random weigh-in at a time. Some questions I like to ask myself is, where was I a month ago? Where am I today? How does my clothes fit? Are they more snug? How do I feel? Just the overall body. How do you feel? Can I do more in the gym? Can I walk farther? Is my endurance improving? Those small victories really do matter. They're very important to consider. Another item that I found that kind of surprised me is that you don't necessarily have to reach your final weight, your final goal in your weight before weight loss starts becoming meaningful. The National Institute of Diabetes and Digestive and Kidney Diseases says an initial goal of losing about 5 to 10% of starting body weight over 6 months is commonly recommended. And even that amount of weight loss can improve health measures. That's it's a perspective shift. If you've got 100 pounds to lose, looking at the entire 100 pounds every morning can feel very overwhelming. So don't do that. Lose the 10 pounds first, then work towards the 20 mark, the 30, and just stack your victories. Because nobody loses 100 pounds at once. That's too much. And you lose your weight 1 pound at a time. It's not extreme, I guess. You've probably heard this before. Just create a diet or a calorie deficit. At the most basic level, losing body tissue does require an energy imbalance over time, but the human body isn't a simple calculator. As body weight changes, energy needs change as well. Your activity can change, your hunger can change, and you kind of just adapt to those changes over time. And eventually, the same strategy that produced faster weight loss at the beginning may produce slower results later. That's why I'm expecting my own journey to have periods where, things move quickly and periods where they just don't. The goal isn't perfection, never has been. I'm not perfect, I know that. The goal is just being consistent, keeping that consistency throughout the day, throughout the week, and eventually the year here. So, let's answer the question I've been wondering myself. Could someone potentially lose 100 pounds in a year? And mathematically, yes, you can. 100 pounds divided by 52 weeks is about the 1.9 pounds per week mark. That's near the upper end of the commonly recommended 1 to 2 pounds per week, range. But that doesn't mean every person should set that goal. And it definitely doesn't mean you're failing if you know, don't make that goal, or it just takes longer for you. My goal is pretty aggressive, and I know that. It's not the first time I've tried this and succeeded. I've lost 100 pounds before, but my arthritis got too bad, and I gained some back, and now I'm going to do it again, even better. So that's my goal. Is I know that it's very aggressive. It's very probably crazy to some people, but that's me, I guess. I'm just going to do it, and you'll see. It's going to be good. But I'm also I'm also not interested in, obviously starving myself for that number on the scale to improve. I'm not going to do that. I want to see what I can accomplish through my consistency, better nutrition, regular exercise, strength training, even more cardio, walking, and all that, my knee recovery, and simply just refusing to quit when I've had a bad week. If that's 9 months, great. If it's 12 months, great. If it even takes longer than that, then I guess it takes longer, right? But my goal isn't going to change. I want to be 180 to 190, and right now I'm 282, and I'm going to get there. It's going to take some time. At my lowest point last time I did this 100-pound challenge was I got down to 225, and I was 325 when I started. So I did the thing, but it took a lot of time. And I will say, just doing it before reaching the finish line is more important than winning some imaginary race to get there. Just I want to get there at this date or this date. Just reaching that finish line really does help your mindset. Just be able to take all that back, and what am I doing? After everything my body has been through personally, I've realized something. For years, I thought about health as something I'd eventually deal with, down the road. A lot of us have said that, right? Eventually I'll lose the weight. Eventually I'll get in shape. Eventually I'll eat, better, no fast food, all that. Eventually I'll make my health a priority. But eventually can turn into years, right? My knee replacement might have been a saving grace, I guess, for me, because it gave me another reason to stop saying eventually. I'm not saying eventually no more. I'm doing it. I feel it. I'm sore, but I'm doing it. I'm gonna do it. I've got this new knee to take care of. I've got another opportunity here in life, a restart, if you will. I'll be 40 this October. I mean, time to do the second half of my life the right way, I guess. The better way, the way that I wanted to, for all those eventuallys I said, right? Yeah, not for, I'm not just doing it for a 30-day thing. I'm not just doing it, temporary. This is long term. I want to be this way the rest of my life, so my knee lasts, like I said, and I don't want to have to worry about a revision later in life for my knee, and ultimately just to be more healthy, So the question we started out with, how fast can we lose weight, right? The research generally points to that 1 to 2 pounds per week as a gradual, sustainable target, I guess, for, most people. But your individual rate can be different. And maybe the better question isn't how fast can I lose the weight? Maybe it's what can I do today that I'll still be willing to do a year from now, eating better, working out, doing all those things. Because losing 100 pounds would be incredible, and it's going to happen. But, you know, what's even better, losing the 100 pounds and never, ever having to lose that same 100 pounds ever again. That's what I'm chasing. I'm documenting. I'm going to document the wins, the setbacks, the workouts. I want to be able to remember this. And not only that, but my kids are going to have YouTube too. I want them to be able to see it long after I'm gone, and my grandkids, and just see the journey that I went on, right? That's what this is about. Future health for my whole family, right? Even the people who aren't even born yet, my grandkids, my great grandkids. And, yeah, so if you're on your own weight loss journey, or maybe you've been telling yourself eventually, that you're going to start someday, subscribe and come along with me on this journey. I ain't stopping. This is me. My wife was here. She'd tell you he's not going to stop because I don't. Let's see where this journey takes me, or us, really, right? And remember, you don't have to change everything today. You just have to start moving in that right direction today. It's that simple, really. It's just one choice at a time, one meal, one workout, just doing the thing. I can't tell you how good it feels to get up. My morning starts at 4:30 in the morning. I get up, get ready, go to the gym by 5, and work out for an hour and a half-ish. 6:30 or so we're leaving. It's usually me, my wife, and my oldest son. He's 14 now. And it feels so good just to get out, do the thing. You regret, I just want to sleep in. No, I'm not doing that. I'm going to go work out. I'm sore today, but I'm going to do it anyway. I don't feel like it today. I'm going to do it anyway. Just do it. Get up, do the thing, work out. It makes your day just worth, going through, really. It helps your whole day to just get out, do the thing, come home, have breakfast, just get in a routine of it. Just do it. If it's not morning for you, maybe it's after work. Problem with me on that one is I'm just super tired after work, right? So think about that. But for me, it's mornings. It's mornings all the time. I'm just so pumped to go in the morning, and yeah, I love it. So hope this video helps. This is my journey. This is what I'm going through. I'd love to hear what you're going through. Leave comments, subscribe, watch this channel. There's going to be a big transformation here in a matter of really a short time. I mean, how fast the years go. Can't believe I'm only 40, right? But here we are, doing the thing. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting everybody that's been watching. Really appreciate it. Yeah, it's going to be a great journey here. Day by day, one step at a time. That's all we can do. I'll see you on the next one, and thanks again.